Have you ever read the book, The Rainbow Fish? Do you have it at home? It's usually a book that stays in children's libraries and teachers read it to their children. For those of you that don't know, the book is about the most beautiful fish in the ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple with sparkling silver scales mixed in. He was very beautiful, but he was very selfish and self-centered. He was so beautiful that he thought he was too good to play with the other fish in the ocean. One day, a little blue fish asked Rainbow Fish for one of his beautiful shimmering scales, but of course he refused. Because of his selfishness, he was not very popular with the other fish. He was not only the most beautiful fish in the ocean, but he was also the loneliest fish in the ocean. He told Starfish about this problem, and Starfish sent him to talk to a wise old octopus. The octopus told Rainbow Fish that if he wanted to be happy, he should give one of his beautiful scales to each of the other fish. Rainbow Fish just could not imagine giving away his beautiful scales. Once again, the little blue fish asked for one of Rainbow Fish's scales. He hesitated for a moment, but finally pulled off one scale and gave it to Bluefish. Rainbow Fish, when the other fish heard what he had done for Bluefish, Rainbow Fish was surrounded by fish asking for one of his shiny scales. Before he knew it, he had given away all of his shiny scales except for one. Suddenly he realized that although he was no longer the most beautiful fish in the ocean, he was happier than ever before. This story of Rainbow Fish reminds me of something that Jesus told his disciples. One day he heard his disciples arguing about which of them would be the greatest in God's kingdom. And Jesus said to them, "If you want to be first, you must be last, and you must be the servant of all." He then put his arms around a little child and told his disciples, "If you welcome one of these, you welcome me, and whoever welcomes me welcomes the one that sent me." Sometimes we think the most important thing is to be first, to be the most beautiful, to be the smartest, or to be the greatest. This isn't what Jesus said. He said that the most important thing was to think always of others first and ourselves last. If we want to be great in God's sight, we should seek to be a servant than seeking to be served. Can we bow our hands and close our eyes for a short prayer? Dear Jesus, help us always to remember that to be the greatest, we must be willing to be the last. And all the children said,